pattern today. It's called a 3 and 1 half Persian, and the Persian weave is a little bit more complicated, and there are full Persian weaves. There are plenty of videos out there for them. I will probably put one up at some point later, but for now I wanted to work on the 3 and 1 half Persian because I'm working towards showing you how to make a piece of jewelry that has become very popular for me. And if anyone else is curious and wants to check it out, maybe they can make their own and sell some. Who knows? But we'll start with the 3 and 1 half Persian, which is part of this this hybrid piece that I'll be covering later. And 3 and 1 half Persian has two distinct directions. We have a left facing, in which the rings lay one on top of the other from right to left, and you have a right facing, which is the opposite, obviously. And we're going to start with the right facing. So what you'll need is some of those open rings and some of those closed rings. And what we'll do to start is we'll take one open ring and 3 closed rings, hence the name 3 in 1 half Persian. And we will do the right facing first because it's easier to see, and the left facing is a little bit more difficult and one that I'm not quite as in practice with, even though I just did a test video which sucked. And I decided to start over. So what you'll do is, this is for left facing, we don't want this. So what you'll do is you'll flip the rings over like that so they lay on top of each other like this from left to right, so it's the right facing. And from there what you'll do is you'll take one open ring, and what some people like to do, and I'll go ahead and show you for the benefit, is to take one ring, put a closed ring through it, like this, and then you'll feed it through. Now the reason that they do it this way is because when it's first like this, you don't want it to move around too much for the first couple of closures, because if it does, it can become unstable and get all tangled up, and you can fix it, but it's usually easier to start over from scratch. And it can be a little annoying. So watch carefully now. You'll do underneath one, up through it and the second one, wrap it around and close it. Again, without as much, with as little moving as possible. And when you do this, make sure that this other loose ring that you just added slides underneath this third ring here. Now, I know it looks kind of jumbled and messy to start, but it'll sort itself out in a minute, I promise. Usually by the second or third closure, it's become stable enough for you to move around and flip and play with. But for now, we just want to hold it real still. That, close it up, make sure it lays flat. Take another one, shake it down, poke it through. Now that. And that is your 3 and 1 half Persian. And something doesn't look quite right, so it's probably this isn't sitting quite right. In fact, we can turn it over now and take a look and see. So, I'm not sure what's wrong with it. It's probably one too many rings, but you get the idea. Yeah, that's right. It just looks weird because it's not complete. So if you wiggle it around a little bit, it usually sorts itself out. And of course, using these oversized rings isn't really the best example, but we've got our right facing now, and you can continue that on as long as you want to, just as long as you remember to the bottom ring that you add in slides underneath. Now we'll throw those out of the way for the moment, and I will show you the left facing, which is a little harder, like I said before. So bear with me because I'm out of practice, and I try to stay in practice, but just because practice makes perfect doesn't mean we always have time for practice. But you should make time. Make time. Score that 2-pointer. I'm not a sports guy, can you tell? Alright, so this time we're going to face left to right. Nope, that's right to left. Right to left is what we want. Like this. Right to left. I'm going to take the back one, or the bottom one if you prefer, and slide it underneath. Now, this one's even more precarious, and I actually don't recommend that you use the ring to add. Don't put a closed ring through your open ring that you're adding, because this will be difficult enough, but you'll want to poke it through this middle bottom ring, and I'll illustrate here with my jeweler's pliers. You'll go through these two, but you will stay out of this top ring here. You see? I don't want to move it too much. So you want to go through those two like that, and then pull it out underneath. And then what you'll do is you'll lay a ring on top. Pick it up a little bit so that you make sure you fall through. And then you close this, and we'll sort out the rest here in just a minute. Close. Now then, see how it doesn't look quite right? Remember, we need to lift up this last ring and slide it underneath like so. And remember, this is the first closure, so we're still unstable. We're going to take another closed ring, poke it through. Did I say closed? I meant open. You get the idea. You can see what I'm talking about. It's not what I say, it's what I'm doing, right? It's just like your parents. Do as I say, not as I do. I never bought that myself. Lead by example. And then that one already sort of fell underneath. And we'll do one more just so that I can show it to you again. Poke it through. It's 106 outside, you guys. I don't know where you all are at, but it's crazy, crazy hot out here. My air conditioner is set for 76, and the temperature in here is still 81. So if you hear a little bit of wind blowing, sorry, you'll have to deal. I've got a fan, and I'm a big guy, and I get hot real easy. So there. Now, and you can take that as long as you want to go, for as far as you want to go. But you'll notice, well, this isn't really a very good example. I think I made a mistake. See, it still doesn't look right, because one should not